What's up, guys? It's Bye here, and welcome to another Genshin's Impact videos. We are back at it with some more testing again today to learn more about the game and so that we can improve our characters. So for today testing, I want to find out more about support character stats. What stats take effect in the battle and what not when they are off the field. So who are the support characters? So for example, like my main character here is Jin, and my other support character which are on the side are Amber, Beidou, and Sanglings. Because I don't use them very often, most of the time my main characters is on the fields and my support character is just on the side to provide the support skills. So I do want to find out like what stats actually work on those characters. So um and I also want to find out like which characters that are used for the elemental reaction. So all the testing results are in the description box in case you don't want to watch the entire videos. But if you want to see all the testing with your own eye, then continue watching. Like I myself, like I believe in what I see. So like a lot of time when I just like reading to the people online, they posting informations, but like there is no way for me to confirm the information. And for me, like for a lot of my games that I play, I often do all the testing myself to learn more about the games, to confirm like the other people fighting, if it true or not. Like I don't just go out there and just like believe what people say blindly. It's just not how it works. So if you want to build a strong like team, you want to build a strong party setup, you need to learn more about the game. You need to understand more how like all of the character works, how all of their how all the stats work pretty much, and how and more even more how the skill works as well. So first I want to know who attacker used to do the damage calculation for damage over time skill. The main character attacks that it use are the support character stats. So for example, my Sangling's ultimate skill doing damage over time. It doesn't just do once instant damage. It has so her ultimate skill. Let's show her ultimate skill here. Um, so Sailing ultimate skill, the pyro needle will move with your character so long as the ability proceeds dealing pyro damage to all enemy in its path, and it dealing damage 95.4%. It say here. So we'll see how we'll see who's like we'll see if the attack from my Sangling going to be used for the skill, or it's going to be the attack from my main character, which is Jin. So for this test, I already recorded it already. So let's watch it together here. So here, I'm going to fight against the cryo bots. So this is the stats on my Sangling here, and this is the artifact I am using on her. Um, so attack 556, elemental mastery 130. So let's go and do and try on the bots here. Okay, switching to my Sangling here, and I'm going to drop my burst skill very soon. So there you go, 71. So 71 damages, 71 damages, and I'm switching to my Gene here, and I am still doing 71 damages. So the damage doesn't increase, the damage doesn't change. Even if I switch out to my main characters, it remains the same. So it is using Sangling attack for the skill. So that is one thing that I was able to confirm. So if you ever wonder if like you using some of the like over damage over time skill, and you wonder if it's going to be using your main character stat for that damage over time or not, the answer is no. It is. I think each skill have its own like kind of a property. It know that skill belong to which character. So when that skill is being used, it already has that damage calculation already kick in, and it's not gonna change because you switch character. Um, okay, so next test is for elemental reaction. So is the elemental reaction damage based off the main character or the support character? So I also already did another testing there. So let's go and watch this one here. So this one I am going to use Sangling and Barber to test the elemental reactions. So I'm going to use Barber to debuff the boss with Hydro, and then I'm going to use Sangling the bear. So now the boss is debuffed with Hydro here. I drop the bear, and the bear did a vaporize damage of 105. So 105 damage from the bear there. So Barber debuff, and the bear cast the bear dropping the skill, and it causing 105 vaporize damage. So the next one we're going to look at is, I believe, this one here. So I think this one I'm doing a little differently. So this one I am going to drop the bear first, so that the boss is debuffed by the Hydro, debuffed by Pyro first. So you can see right here I'm dropping Sangling a bear, and after Sangling bear, let's go it again here. So after Sangling bear drop, the boss is debuffed with Pyro, and if I use a normal attack from my Barber, the vaporized damage is only 4 this time. So it's not. So previously, if my Barber debuffed the boss with Hydro and the bear casting the skill on the boss, the vaporized damage was 105. But because this time Barber is the one triggering the elemental reaction, the vaporized damage is only 4. So what what can we conclude from this one here? So for elemental reactions, the character who trigger the elemental reaction is the one going to is the characters that have the stats that going to be used for like the damage calculation. So let's say if my Barber debuff the boss first with Hydro and Sangling using the skill on the boss, then Sangling stats will be used to do the damage calculation even though Sangling is not on the field. Or if Sangling debuffs the boss first and then get off the field, and then Barber triggers the elemental reaction with her skill, then Barber stats going to be used for that elemental reaction damage calculation. So that is something you need to know, so you can plan out. So another thing I want to test is also regarding elemental mastery. So a lot of people message me asking like, hey, if I cause an elemental reaction, is elemental mastery going to be used from my main character or from the support character? So here we're going to do another test here. So I'm gonna have Barber. Actually, 1 second here. Let me pause the video first. So here I want to show you guys the stats first. So for this test, my Sangling's going to have 130 elemental mastery. Her attack is 556. So just so you know, so this is the attack and elemental mastery that I'll be using on her. And let's go back to the video here. So the test after this, I'm going to change up the elemental mastery. So that's so you know. So here I'm going to debuff the boss with Barber again, dropping the bear and switch to my Jin. So it's still doing 105 vaporized damage there. So which is pretty much the same as the original one when I did the test earlier. So that is the one I did with 130 elemental mastery. And for this one, I changed up the artifact so that my elemental mastery is 81, but my attack remained the same. So we're going to do another test here. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to debuff the boss with Hydro. we go drop the bear and we go switch to the main character, and we'll see if the elemental mastery from Sangling's going to kick in or not. So here, dropping the debuff on the boss, dropping the bear, switching to my main character here, and this time I am only doing a 98 vaporized damage. So Sangling elemental mastery kick in for that elemental reaction damage, and not my main character. So um, like as a player, I have a total control of who is going to be the one who triggers the elemental reaction. So for example, like if I use Barber and Sanglings, if I want Barber to trigger the elemental reaction, I just have to use Sangling Bear first so that the target has the Pyro debuff. And then I can use a water skill on the target. Or like if I want to build my Sangling with a lot of elemental mastery, and I want her to be the one to trigger the elemental reaction, all I had to do is just had to make sure that Barber debuff the boss first, and then dropping the skill, the Pyro skill from Sangling, so that Sangling going to be the one who triggers the elemental reaction. So another thing you need to know is that after each elemental reaction, the debuff is going to be removed. So you will have to apply the debuff again. So in the video you saw, I applied the Hydro debuff on the boss first, then I use Sangling Fire skill. Elemental reaction is created and the debuff is gone. And then after that, the bear only do normal damage and no like elemental reaction damage anymore. And then the bear apply a pyro debuff on the boss. So now the debuff changed. So from a hydro debuff to a pyro debuff. And so now if like Barber attack the boss, Barber is gonna be the one who triggers the elemental reaction. So that is the information you need to know if you want to build a strong team. So, for example, for support character with many damage over time skill like Sangling or Facial, like I don't recommend you to build them with a lot of elemental mastery because you won't get much benefit out of it. Like the elemental reaction from damage over time is not very high. But like some support character like Jin, let's say if you build Jean as the main support characters, you could totally build her with like elemental mastery because her skill are like instant. Like her skill is she doesn't have any dot skill. Like she has no damage over time skill. Her her skill here doing 300% damage. Like her ultimate skill doing 457% damage right away. So if you have that, if Jean is the one who triggers the elemental reaction, and you have a lot of elemental mastery built on her, she will cause a lot of damage. Comparing to some of the other character who doing dot damage, which you don't do very high damage. Um, so instead of doing like 400% damage on top of the elemental reaction, if you use Sangling ultimate to be the one to trigger the elemental reaction, it's only like her damage only 95% and not like 400%. So you cut yourself, you cut down on on the damage for the elemental reaction there. So definitely try to use the one who has the highest skill damage right away to be the one to trigger elemental reaction and not the other way around. So so that if you build Jin as like main support, but I am building Jin as main DPS, so it's a different story. I don't build hers with a lot of elemental mastery. Um, so this is the findings that I found. I hope you find this video informative and maybe it can help you to build better teams. Thanks for watching the videos, guys. And if you guys have any comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Again, thanks for watching the videos.